Oh gosh, so welcome to Cozy Talk Shows, and my name is Carol Ann, and as the writing facilitator, what I do is support soul-driven entrepreneurs in becoming more productive with their writing by connecting them with their deeper innate ability to write. But more importantly, they experience free-flowing writing. They experience getting their book written, and all of this has just come about through my own journey of unlocking the writer within. And today, welcoming Dr. Laura with us. So, Dr. Laura, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Good morning. Thanks for having me. I am a licensed professional counselor and life coach, author, and I need a lot of help. So maybe actually asking Cheryl for some tips, actually. Speaker and advocate of all that is good in the world. I help high achieving, professional, well educated women with the tools and tips and tricks and techniques to help prevent self sabotage. So they live lives fully and authentically and happy. So they prevent self sabotage.
Thank you. Nomsa, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Laura and Carol. And my name is Lumsa Clara Mbe. I'm the founder of Hope Spring Eternal Introduction Agency and Ngozi Talk Shows. So today, our lovely Carol Ann is serving the day, hosting the talk because I keep getting kicked out, and I'm really sorry to our audience. That's the reason why we are late and technical problems. And over to you, Carol Ann. You are the host today.
Thank you. Oops. Thank you. And yes, so the topic today is how can you show up in your life? And this came about through a conversation I had with Dr. Laura, and I came up with why are you not showing up in your life? You know, that question really sort of came up, and it was like, well, yes, I'm not. Why not? And so that sparked that title, and I had a wonderful time in her clubhouse the other night, albeit it was 2 o'clock in the morning for me. It was 8 o'clock for her because she's out over in the States. But it was my first experience with Clubhouse, and I enjoyed it. And I heard some wonderful sharing with that. So I thought we'd just like to discuss that today in terms of how, can you show up in your life? So, Dr. Laura, would you like to, because I know you've only got a short time with us, and I thank you for joining us. Would you like to, say something about this, and what does it
Sure.
mean for you?
Well, Carol, I learned everything about me from that room with you, which you were an amazing facilitator and a wonderful moderator. And I want to thank you so much for showing up, especially at 2 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the morning, whatever it was, regardless. That's showing up and showing up and doing something, regardless of the fact that if you want to do it or not. You just keep showing up. And that to me, your diligence, your due diligence shows integrity and character. Because when times get tough, when things get, I don't mean to, when things get rough, I didn't mean to rhyme there. It's, it's about continuing to do the things that you don't want to do necessarily. And Lisa Nichols is a quote that I love absolutely. And she says, that character and conviction do not live on the same street. That means when your conviction, your belief, your adherence to a belief, a philosophy, a certain code or set of standards, if that is so strong that when it's not convenient to maintain or adhere to those values, belief system, etc., it doesn't matter that you still maintain that conviction. And even something simple as showing up to a show at 2 o'clock in the morning, that's conviction of the heart. And ongoing on an ongoing daily basis, people are brought into my world, as you, Carol, and Omsa for sure, that there's an integrity that you adhere to the characteristics and values of which you espouse to your clients. And you just keep showing up no matter what. And I'm grateful to be able to say that to you live because it's true and it's valid. And I love you and I appreciate and respect you. That's the most important thing. I respect you. So thank you for allowing me to say that.
Thank you. And to hear that, it's for me, it's like it's another side to this whole conversation that I hadn't thought about. And it's just like, oh, okay. And I think this is what I love about conversations is there's always other angles to come from. And you tend to sit in your own angle and you're a bit blinkered. And so you can't see it. And it's for me, it's like, well, no, I'm not showing up. I'm not showing up. Take off those blinkers. And all of a sudden it's like, ooh, maybe I am, more than I think I am. So thank you for that. It's just, yeah, amazing.
See, may I offer a quote? Another quote. I love
Yeah,
quotes.
sure, please do.
Charles Horton Cooley is an American sociologist from the early 1900s, and he coined a phrase called the looking glass self. And it reads as, I am not who I think I am. I am not who you think I am. I am who I think you think I am. I'll say that again. I am not who I think I am. I am not who you think I am. I am who I think you think I am. So the premise is that our belief system about ourselves, how we understand ourselves, is not based on what we think of ourselves. And it's not based on what others think of me. In fact, it is based on what we think others think of us, which is sometimes skewed and warped and twisted based on our own programming that we've experienced growing up as a child and through our adult years. And that can become, not only is it imprinted, then it can exacerbate and continue to sabotage ourselves because our understanding of the world is not just based on what other people think of us, it's based on what we think other people think of us. So you might think that I think whatever was that you're amazing. You might not know or understand that I know you're amazing. For me, you might think that I think something different, and then internalizing that, and then possibly be creating that into a self-fulfilling prophecy, which is internalized and then living out that on a daily life in your life. This is just one philosophy. Theories are not fact; they can only be disproven. So either that's a bunch of malarkey, or it's true and valid for someone. It's could be the whole gamut. So it's important to tell people how you actually feel about them, so they know. That's my point.
I absolutely get that, because if you don't share that, then there's no opportunity for me to have understood that side. And yes, in my head, how I am thinking you think of me is not that way that you just said. I've gone off on other tangents. So I'm going, okay, it starts you thinking. And I think by waking ourselves up to that, and then realizing how we are showing up and how we think others are thinking of us, but then open up that conversation and be willing to listen and really listen to what they think of us. It might not be as painful as you think, and it certainly isn't what you think. And actually, it's a way of getting to understand that, and maybe how you can shift things for yourself. Because on Tuesday, I there was some training that I went into with someone was doing. She does what's called social media. She's called a social media fairy, bless her. And she looking at branding, and she'd gone and looked at each of us in the group, how she saw us on our Facebook profile, and sort of summed it up with a few, with how she saw us. And literally for me, it was just a couple of things. She said, "You're not visible. You're not showing up." So again, that's how with the conversation with you, because it was Tuesday night that I had that conversation with you, and it showed up in that way as well. So I'm going, yeah, I'm great at being invisible and hiding, and yet I am showing up in other ways. So I think for me, it's recognizing where I am showing up and how I'm showing up, and where I'm not, and what I now need to change. And I'm going to shift that. So, but yet she was very apologetic, and I said, no, it's fine. I need to see this, because I sort of know it. It's like, it's fine, So yes, and it it can stump us. So do you want to add anything more, Laura? Or
I was wondering if Nomsa I
Yeah,
was just
Nonsa,
wondering
would
if
you like
Nonsa
to
has
share?
any comments.
Oh no, I wanted to hear more about Carol Ann. What did she meant by you not showing up on you're invisible on your social media?
She didn't get what I was about. All she saw was a picture, load of quotes, and one other thing. Whereas with other people, she could put words around them to say
Ah,
what they were
okay.
about.
Oh,
Yeah?
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think that is the homework that we need to look at your social media. We're gonna sort that out. We need to look at your social media. I can sort that out for you, Carol Ann, on social media if you want me to. Because I did sort out my social media with Des. Basically, he taught me how to do it. He didn't do it. He just taught me how to do it. So I'll have a look and see what does she mean if you are invisible. But for me, every information, though, when I'm looking for information, I get it from your social media. I never ask you. I always get it on your social media profile. Everything that I write is only what do I need? It's only your bio when I need your full bio where I have to ask. But most of the time, I don't know, maybe I know you very well. You are in my head. Maybe I know you very well, you're in my head. But how basically,
Could be.
yeah, honestly, showing up for me, basically, Carol Ann, I think you show up for me, basically, at Ngozi Talk Show. You're one of basically Ngozi Talk Show speakers that are dedicated. And, I always tell you all the time that you do show up all the time. You show up for yourself, not for Ngozi Talk Shows. Basically, you show up and do the work for yourself. And even your audience, they do know that you show up all the time. So you might be invisible by maybe putting things in writing, but I think when it comes to the audience, they already know who you are, because if I'm not here, I know that you run the show, and Amanda and Dr. Biget. So I always know that you guys are going to show up. But then showing up as well for yourself. I don't feel I agree with this woman that I feel that there is more to you. You know what, Dr. Laura, I attended her workshop. Uh, just for one day, I came up with so many things that I basically didn't realize that I had left behind and abandoned them. So there's part of me that feels that there is more to you, Carol Ann. So I do feel that you could show up more, and I agree with Dr. Laura as well. I agree. Basically, there is more in you that you can do, because when you did your workshop, what the things that I've realized when I came out of that workshop. The things that I've realized for myself. So if you can show people basically who you are, your personality, like myself, I need to show up more. And I know that there is more that I can do. There is more that I can show my audience. I can teach my audience as well. But what is stopping me? There is nothing that is stopping me, basically. I just need to cultivate uh, more being in the present moment and just go with the flow. Where basically live in the present, like what Gossip Talk Show says. There are no guarantees for tomorrow. So that's what I believe, that I think there is more to me. And I had a meeting with Dr. Laura, and she's amazing. Basically, I like people that are there to help people, just want to help. So I connected with her straight away on Zoom when we were talking. I'm not just talking just because she's here. No. So that is the truth. So I'm just telling the audience that is the truth. Over to you, girls. Carol Ann.
No, Laura, would you like to add in here? Because I know you've only got a short while left with us today.
Yeah, well, I beg your pardon. And yeah, I did just a few moments. And I don't do small and I don't do fake. The weather happens and traffic's there. Okay, go big or go home. Go pro. Go deep. Because, there's a saying, you only live once. You only die once. Live every day. And if you don't show up in your life, and you sit silently in fear, who's going to listen when you stand to speak? It's as simple as that. And maybe some folks aren't around to offer a hand to raise up that you can hopefully just do by yourself. You got to, I got to need some help there. And I mean, think about we have 86,400 seconds every day. If we were to take that number and put $1 for each one of those seconds, $86,400 every day. And so we deposit those seconds into our life account. We deposit the monies into our bank account or our relationship account or whatever it is. I highly doubt that there would be anybody. I don't know very many people at all who would say, "Oh, I'm just wasted my money. I just wasted $86,400 or however much of that." Rather than they say, "I'm just wasting time." Just wasting time. You have that. How is a finite number? We don't know how many more of those 86,400 seconds we have left. The crazy thing, the scary thing about it, which I'm finding more and more relevant the older I get, is that time flies. It's here now, that's gone. Right here, now that's gone. And if we're not living in the moment, we're missing so much. And it's so hard to live in the moment for a variety of reasons. But so time flies. But that's the bad news. The good news is that we're the pilot. We get to choose how we spend our time. We get to choose how we live our time. And when things don't go well, and there may be disappointment if something wasn't achieved that was working on, or death of a family member, and their time on earth was so short, they didn't waste time. So don't waste your time. And when the best thing that I can envision to do for someone is to show up like a light post for others. And that means to really be available for others, because when we serve others, we're filled up. Yeah, that's what I have on that.
Thank you. And I like that idea about being a lighthouse for the people. So it is showing up, and I think it is acknowledging which ways you do show up. How can you show up and allow yourself to show up and shine? And I think now is the time to shine, and find out where are you not shining.
Oh, I know it.
Yeah, because it's like stick that light on. Come on, where are you not shining, and why are you not shining? And work on that so that you can clear what is it that stops you shining. Flick that switch.
Yeah.
And shine.
Everybody's.
Yeah. Everybody's got a message to share that they're holding back on. And that is their shining. Sharing it, talking about it, writing about it. And I think that sometimes is the hardest part, is to write about it. Because we've all got these ideas and limiting beliefs about our ability to write. And will anybody want to read what we've written? Will they understand what we've written, or will they criticise us? The grammar's not very good. But it's not about that, because that can be worked out. It's getting it out, and it has to be your words, not someone else's. So it's no good telling somebody else about it and then they write it because it's then their filter. It comes through their filter and it's in their words. So it's, what are your words? And get them written down.
No. Quiet.
Yeah.
It's a place where you can actually get really quiet and really listen. Because we're worried about listening to other people, and I'm a big advocate of, my job is to help other people feel empowered. Well, I'm going to do everything in my power to do that, and then I don't have anything left for me. And just this morning, as I was curling my hair, I was thinking, the Germans are so polite, and they're so mindful of the time, of their timeliness. And I find it very different with my brother Joe. He lives in Bozeman, Montana. And hey, Jenny, hey, Joe, if you're listening, that everything is just in the moment, meaning that The more we have, the more it defines us, the more it owns us. The more things we own, the more they own us. So I don't know if that helps or not, but just thought of me some garlic out of things that are here.
Yeah, say that again. The more things we have.
The more things we own, the more they own us.
Yes.
So imagine if you have a house full of all these trinkets or knickknacks or however you have your home organized. And if those things are taken away from us because it served us well for quite some time, if those things are taken away from us, I would very much love to release and relinquish the it's like a vice grip, you know, or a dog and a pull toy, you know, the chew toy, like, you're holding onto the violin and they're just chomping. So the more things we control, the less control we have. So relinquishing and releasing that control, the more control we have, which sounds oxymoronic. I don't even know if that's a word, but ironic. That little things, subtle things come about in your daily basis that you can take whisper to. You can speak into it like a whisper. And if you don't get that message, then maybe a gush of air when you're turning a corner on a street. Oh, this is what I'm supposed to do. You're not getting it. How about finding out what's safe with you in that moment? So I want to thank you, ladies, for allowing me to take a space in your stage and for allowing me to speak. Thank you so much. And I look forward to working with you in future collaborations. If anyone wants to get in touch with me, you can contact me at laura@drlauracobb.com. That's laura@drlauracobb.com. Or you can always find me on LinkedIn with the tagline is Dr. Laura Cobb.
So yeah, thank you. And I certainly get you empower people because you've empowered me, and I love that word. And it just through those simple conversations and getting very present. And it is about being present and that listening that you have.
Well, I'll leave with this. I can't believe the courage that you took getting on Clubhouse for your first room ever as a moderator, as a guest host, and all that. You just rocked that room. We went for 4 hours. I have to look at the replay. It was a lot. It was a very long time.
I don't know. I left after an hour and a half because my head was going, I can't take any more.
You did the 4 hour talk, girl.
What?
We did 4 hours.
Yeah.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Oh my goodness.
Well, they maxed it at 6 now.
Oh my goodness.
Gosh.
Okay. Thank you, ladies.
It's fun. Thank you. And come back again, please. Okay. So, interesting thoughts. What have you got out of this conversation, Nomsa? Are you still with us? You seem to have frozen again. And this is what happens. Sometimes life has a way of pausing, of freezing. And it's about being in that pausing moment, knowing that maybe something is going on in the background to get things straight and get things in order. So it's being comfortable with the pause. And I know I've had to be comfortable with the pause. Time that's, it's felt like so much time has gone by and I haven't, to me, feel like I've made progress with certain aspects of my business. But what I realise is that things have needed to get in place before I can then take off. There are other people that need to come into my life, other programs, I don't know, things just suddenly fit together. But it is being comfortable with that pause, and then life can start moving again. And then Nomsa can start moving again, and you joining us again, Nomsa. Are you with us?
Sorry, I was talking to one of my daughter's teachers, so I don't know, head teacher, he was looking for me. So I was trying to cut off the phone, but then I answered by accident. So he said it wasn't an emergency, so I'll call him back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, what did you get out of the conversation that you've just heard? Because there's some amazing stuff that sort of came up with Laura.
Oh yeah, I like it. The way she says, the more things you own, the more they own you, and I think in that way she's telling the truth basically. And I like it when you saying we need to shine, and why are we not shining? So we need to show up and shine, because at the end of the day, the life is that basically um, showing up and making a decision, basically to have the courage to shine. It's a big decision. But then if you live in a wishing, that means that you can't accomplish anything in life. So you have to take action, and you have to um, become the person that you want to become, and not worrying about what people think, because it's like now I've seen myself like Lisa Nicholson always say that sometimes the people don't succeed because they want to carry other people. And I've seen it with myself, or sometimes we are afraid of being judged. I've seen it with myself, like when I'm trying to do something, when I'm doing something, because uh, my family get lost with what I'm doing, because they're not used to that person and they don't know that person, or sometimes they know it, or sometimes they get confused. So it's like sometimes I'll be doing something and they are questioning me. They want me to be that person that they know in Africa, but I can't be that person. So I always have to make it clear that I'm not going to stop doing the things that I want to do. And I could see that. But sometimes, as a Christian, when you pray and say, God, this show me who I need to be. So God will show you this is the person you need to be. You take action. And then once you take action, somebody will enter your life and try to discourage, causing distraction. It will then be up to you to actually say, no, I am going to shine. My life is going to shine. I want to shine. This is not who I want to be. This is the person that I want to be. And I've seen it with myself, with my experience, that if I actually wasn't strong, actually, I think I would have stopped doing what I'm doing, just being scared of being judged. So I think in life, you have to make a decision. You have to have the courage to show up as authentic as possible. And you don't have to live a wishful life. Hi, Abdullah. Greetings to you. And yes, you have to renew your energy. You have to the day routine and renew energy, because my day is repeated in one image. Oh no, you basically need to change your image. You need to make sure that you change everything. So thank you so much for sharing that. We basically have to make sure that we show up as authentic as possible. And for me, basically being coming from Africa, I find that my family sometimes they struggle to actually connect with me. It's like I want to move forward and they're pulling me back to say, it's like they don't recognize the person that I'm becoming. So I'm like, I don't have to explain myself, but I just have to say, okay, this is who I am, this is who I'm not. And I just have to explain to them that I have to become, because for me, uh, I was raised by my father and my stepdad, and both these two men make sure that they taught me basically to live my life as authentic as possible, unapologetic. So, and sometimes I wonder, because we were raised by the same parents with my siblings. So I'm like, hang on a minute, were you raised by the man that I know? So sometimes but then I get it that sometimes we grow up and we can choose to create the images that we want. For me, basically, the image, I know I was raised by positivity, so those positive image, implemented my own image as well at the same time. So I don't want to show up boring. I like to take risks. I like to, if the opportunity is presented to me, I like to go for it and see where life is taking me. I never say no to the opportunity. I always take opportunities when it comes my way. So I think basically you have to show up, even when you have friends, and show your vulnerability as well. It doesn't matter, and don't worry about people judging you, because at the end of the day, we have a purpose. And when you die, the judgment is first. You will be facing that judgment on your own, because God will say, I gave you a purpose on earth. Did you fulfill my purpose? So for me, that's how I see life, that I'm here on earth, basically for my own image and own purpose to save. I'm here to save. I'm not here just to be Nomsa. So that's what I'm here for. I don't know, Carol Ann, what do you think? So for me, I believe we all have a job to do, purpose to do. We all been created different, but we all have, God has given us a gift, but we have to use that gift.
I totally agree with you. There is a purpose that we're here, and as you say, each of us have a purpose, our own purpose, our own life's purpose, and it is about understanding that and knowing that. And I think, as you say, siblings from the same parents that can turn out so differently, but what you look at is there's maybe some common threads that come
Yeah.
through, but each have their own purpose. So they would take from that parental relationship and the siblings what is for them, for their purpose. And I think if you can identify with that, it does help you to be more grounded with yourself and to show up. Because I think it is this question of you're comparing yourself to everybody else, and by comparing yourself, you think that you need to be showing up like that in the same way as them. And something that was said last night at a mastermind that I was on, and I actually helped run the actual mastermind section of this meeting, and it was the first one of the year. It was with GTEx. They have a monthly mastermind, and I usually get the mastermind leaders, the team together, so that there's a group. The participants are put into groups, and there's a mastermind leader in each group that runs that section of the meeting. But before that, we have the main leader that runs the whole thing, that explains what the mastermind's about, introduces that section. And I did that last night for the first time this year, and we'll get a team together, and there'll be different ones each month, but everybody brings their own uniqueness to it. And this was what was highlighted last night. I don't present the same as Simone. He pointed that out, and I went, oh yes, but I still held the space and made it work. And that's the important thing. And I think sometimes we think, oh, but they run it like this and I should be doing the same as them. You have to be you. And what you were saying about being your authentic self is very true. And that's how you can show up in your life, is knowing who you are, what you stand for, what your values are, and giving yourself time and space for yourself to understand what your life's purpose is and to work on yourself. And so giving yourself that time out, because if you don't take time out, the universe will take it out for you and say, here, go deal with this. And you have to then deal with that. And I think that, and I know for a fact that happened to me, and it's happened a few times, because you're not fully present, or you're not stepping into what you're meant to be doing. And so it was here, deal with this, and you need to stop, go inward. Work on yourself. Do the inner work and understand what your life purpose is. And then put out that prayer and say, well, look, how can I show up? In what ways do you want me to show up? And realize that how you show up doesn't have to be how other people show up. Because that isn't being true to yourself. That isn't being authentic. And this is what I'm getting out of this conversation. As we're talking and having heard Laura and been on her show the other night, it's saying, it's how, and doing the mastermind leader role last night and hearing that, I'm starting to see myself how others see me. And it's okay, because it isn't what I have in my own mind. And I love it took me a while to understand what Laura was saying. It was like, it screwed my mind a bit. So I was glad she repeated it, because it's very true. It isn't what others think about you or what you think. I can't remember the exact quote, but it's basically comes down to, it's what you think they are thinking of you. That's what stops you. But at the end of the day, you need to be true to yourself and be willing to listen and get the feedback. Because as Clinton Swain says, feedback is the breakfast of champions. So no matter how hard it may sound or it may be a bit difficult to listen to it. Because it is only someone else's opinion. And you can go, okay, that's your opinion. Thank you. And you take it on board and work with it, or you just dismiss it. You've got a choice at the end of the day. But you don't need to let it stop you. And I've realised that's what's happened with me. Comments that some people have made, I've let it stop me. And so I've withdrawn. So I love what you were saying, Nonsa, relating to siblings. That really, does run a chord there. What else is there that's coming out in this conversation?
Okay, are you with Simone G-Taxi?
Yes.
How I've watched that guy on Facebook Live. That's how basically where my company is, just by watching him and go and implement exactly what he says.
Oh wow! I'll let him know. He'll be thrilled.
Honestly, I watch him. Even I didn't know that you can actually ask people to recommend you, so you can basically you can win company of the year or anything. You can enter competitions. I watch him. Honestly, I don't know if he does Facebook. Before he used to do Facebook Live, send it to me on my private message, and then I go and do live with them, but I don't get messages anymore. Honestly, I used to watch him, and whatever he says, I'll just go exactly and do exactly what he says. Implement everything, take action, and honestly, I have been like a matchmaking of the year, I think 6 times now, or 4 times, 6 times. Yeah, by just getting his ideas, and he was just, I can't believe you are with him, and now I agree with Laura. You've got to do it, Carol Ann, because you are with the brains, you are inside him. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
Amazing, yeah. So,
oh yeah, and
interesting.
I like it the way you say comments. People have met. They have met you drawn with the drawn. Carol Anna, this is business. Wherever you go, you're going to find people making comments, and some of the comments is the comments that you're not gonna like. But those comments, I tell you, they help you how to deal with the world. So when negative comments come your way, don't use them as like somebody, because the people see the word different. And there are some people that like to give negative comments because they can. So it will be then up to you to say, okay, I'm not who this person you think I am, but I'm this. This is who I am. So basically, you have to use that to give you strength. And when I started my business, there were so many negative comments. Like, I'm a Christian myself. And when I speak, I always talk about God because God is part of my life. So I did an event. People were crying. They were like, "This is touching. This was beautiful." But then somebody came to me. The person that we were setting up events came to me and said, "When you talk about in the events, you shouldn't involve God because some people they don't believe in God." I said, "Listen, whoever comes in my events, there are values and beliefs that I believe in. So I can't not be who I am." I said to her, "Look, when Oprah speaks, she believes in God, but she never basically she talks about her beliefs and then she also asks the audience to talk. She says the universe of God." So I was like, I'm a child of God, so I'm not going to neglect my God because of the audience. If they don't like my, or if audience they don't like the way I speak, I was like, but there is gonna be my audience. So I had to explain to her that you don't get rid of who you are because of people. You have to show up as authentic, like what Laura was saying. You have to be as authentic as possible. And if anyone judges you, it doesn't mean you're bad. It doesn't mean what you're doing is bad. It's just people they love to basically poke and poke and poke and poke. So anyway, if they were not here, those who are poking, we would not be here. So we need those naysayers, people who are negative. And I like it when you say, how can you show up? In what ways? You say you can pray or you can ask the universe to say, how can I show up? In what ways do you want me to show up? And this is my biggest prayer that I always do. That I always ask God, who do you want me to be? Who am I? Show me a hidden secret about myself that I need to know, a hidden secret about that can move me forward, that can move me to serve people forward. And you have to be you. People will always gonna criticize you. People always gonna come. There are people who's gonna come to your life to help you grow. So there are people that are gonna come into your life to criticize you. Like I was telling you, I watched Simon on social media. He doesn't know this. I watch him and I go and implement whatever he does. So I wondered, it was like, he doesn't send me, I still receive his email. I was like, is he doing any social media lives anymore? Yeah, those kind of people, we need them in this world. That you can, if you want something, you go on YouTube, you find it. And those are the kind of people, and you are one of them. So you have to know that you are one of them. I came to your workshop. There are some things that I had forgotten, but I came out and I learned something. So we learn from each other. So you have to, and also I've realized the wording. When you use the words, I'm learning from you as well how you use the words. So, but you don't know all these things. So we need people like you basically to show up so we can learn more from you. Over to you, Carol Ann.
That's yes, to learn. I think that is the key thing. By people showing up, you learn from them. And I know that I've always sort of thought, oh, well, somebody's learnt something, and very quickly they're out there and they're sharing it, and I'm thinking, but you only just learnt it. How can you be, practicing it? And because I realised that for me, I needed to get everything in order. I've got to know how it works and it's going to pan out without just jumping in and doing it. So I need to let go of that. I need to know how it's going to work out and just jump in and just go for it. And a part of me does now and again, I'll jump in and do things. But I think over the years I've stopped doing that so much. And I need to do that a bit more, but have a bit more balance in terms of knowing now that there are people out there that can support me, and that actually I can build programs as I'm going. Because I heard it years ago. Somebody said, oh, you don't need to have your program already sorted. You just have the basic idea, you have the first session, sorted out, and you just go for it. And you sell it, and then you're one step ahead each time. And I remember thinking, I can't do that. And so I never even started, because I thought I got to get everything sorted and get every aspect of that program in line. And I was thinking, oh, I can't do that. And so I stopped myself until a couple of years ago when I did my 6-month program, and somebody said, yes, I'd like to come on that. And I had 2 people actually come on it, and I ran it for the first time. And I had the structure of it, and literally I would be preparing each session before that session went along. I didn't have the actual details of each session sorted, so I was one step ahead, and it worked. It was amazing. It was like, oh, this is how it works, and so it is allowing yourself to do that, but it's recognizing where you stop yourself and how you stop yourself, because that's where you're stopping yourself from showing up. And I've been stopping myself from showing up in terms of sharing my knowledge, my experience with other people. So that's where I've not been showing up. And so it needs to come out more in my writing more posts, more blogs, getting my book written. I said it the other night on another show where I was interviewed on, it was the Crossroads podcast with Steve Beer. And I said to him, okay, I've already said it on another one. I'm committing to getting my book written this year. And it's the one that's, I don't know if I've mentioned it here before, Lead with Your Story. The 7 keys to leverage the power of your story and turn your life and business around. And for me, that's what's really showing up now, is about leading with your story. And so I want to get this done, because I've said I will do it. So I'm saying it here as well. And it means I'll go back on those shows next month, and I need to then be able to say how I've got on with it. So I'm creating accountability for myself here, because a part of me is going, oh, come on, Caroline, you need to do something now, because you've actually said it out loud. And that's where you can hold yourself accountable for showing up, is speak something out. Share it out there with other people, because just saying it to yourself doesn't always hold that same strength. So share, speaking it out. And this book, whew, yes. My first step is finding that time, creating that space for me to actually sit down and write and focus on it and give it headspace. I've given it no headspace. It's just an idea that I speak about. It's on paper, I've got bits of it already sorted, but I haven't given it any headspace and time. So for you to show up in your life, maybe you need to give yourself headspace. Give yourself space and time for you to reflect on what's important to you, what is your purpose, and recognize where people are. As you were saying, Nomsa, people don't recognize you anymore, how they knew you, and they try and pull you back. It's like, oh, we don't know you, this isn't how we know you.
Yeah.
Well, you need to then educate them and say, it's okay that I'm not that person anymore, because they're scared somehow their life's going to change because of it. Well, it can do, but it's up to them. But at the end of the day, you need to educate them and say, no, this is who I am, and this is who I'm choosing to show up as,
Yeah.
and who I am choosing to be, and make that standard. And they'll get used to it. They'll get comfortable with that. And then you'll change again, and again they'll try and pull you back. And it's a constant game, you know. And
Yeah.
it's at what point are you going to go, oh, all right, I can't fight this anymore? Or just have a breather, let it settle for a bit, and then get up and keep going. And say, no, I still have other things to learn. There's still more of me that can shine. There's more of me that can show up. And again, keep asking in what ways. And Stephen Hawking actually says, half the battle is just showing up. Only half the battle. You know,
I
so
like
what's the other
that.
half? Yeah.
I like that. I like that. Half of the battle is just showing up. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, I like it when you say sometimes when you want to do something, you always have to wait. You know, for me, what helped me to basically to build my business is basically keep showing up. And when I go to like people like Andy Harrington, basically, Andy Harrington doesn't mind the people taking most of the business events. They don't mind the people taking videos as long you're not going to put them on social media. So I take a video, and when I take a video, I upload it on Facebook private. It only can be seen by me. So then I go to my computer. Whatever I've been taught there, I implement it, take action with that video, following the instructions. Honestly, it helped me to set up Google. It helped me to set up Google Map. It helped me to set up everything within the business, like social media, like there's of course his team, they do set it up, but I have to know what I want by because I go and learn, and then I have to say, could you please do this for me? So I write everything. And when I leave that event, I have to do it straight away by asking his team to do it, or I do it myself. Just by going on, just taking action, everything. If you Google Hope Springs, the tenant introduction agency, it comes up everywhere. So that's how I've learned. Honestly, that's how I've learned uh, to do that. Basically, just to implement everything I learned, just to implement it straight away. And not worrying about, it's like I have learned it, because before, you know, when you listen to these big speakers speak, you don't know what they're talking about unless you have experienced it yourself. So now I'm starting to experience it with my family. It's like they're like dragging me. But the good thing is I don't fight with them. I have to explain that we don't have to live the life that we know. It's okay to change. So, and that change, you can teach it to other people in the families. So I explain to them that it is okay to change. It's okay to grow. And when you do grow, then you can teach others how you've learned it, how you've done it. It's not okay to actually to learn something and then keep it to yourself. So it's okay to learn it, and then once you learn it, and then you share it with somebody else. So I always explain to them that wherever I'm going, whatever I'm doing, just watch what I do, and then you can implement it yourself, or you can teach other people, learn it and teach others. Don't just stay in one place with what you know, because some people prefer the devil that they know. And that devil that you know, it holds you back. That's holding your life back. So, and you mentioned the universe earlier, that the universe will always does universe respond, and God respond to now. So if you want something, you want to do it, you have to do it now. It's all about now, taking action, not tomorrow. You don't pray to God and say, show me who I'm going to be tomorrow. It says, show me who I am now, who I could be. So that's how I see life. And I think you are showing up. You are showing up, Carol, and because uh, when I started seeing you, you've grown as well. So I think, and you are getting out there. I can't believe you guys did 4 hours broadcasting podcast with Dr. Laura.
I don't know if it went on for 4 hours, but I only managed to stay for an hour and a half. It got to 3:30 in the morning, and my head went, I need to go back to bed, go to
Yeah,
sleep.
yeah.
So I left. I just quietly left and let the conversation continue.
Oh,
But,
okay, okay.
yeah, yeah. But, it was still carrying on. People join in, that
Yeah,
they'll join in and then they'll slip away and someone else will pop in, and
yeah,
it was an amazing experience, and I'm really grateful to for you for sort of introducing Dr. Laura to me, because she joined our Christmas show and
yeah,
then actually putting out that invite for us to join her on her Clubhouse. And so I went and had that conversation with her, and it is through conversations that you meet people, and it is taking
yeah,
up those
yeah,
opportunities, and you just never know where it might take you. And I know in our conversation, and she was saying, oh, well, my show's at 8 o'clock at night, and I was going, oh, okay, that's 2 o'clock in the morning for me. And it was like, okay, that's at first it was like, no, that's not possible. And then she's saying, well, I'm thinking of moving my show forward to five
yeah,
o'clock, which would be at 11 for me. And I was thinking, oh, that'll be better. And she's saying, well, perhaps we'll wait till then. I said, okay. And then that sort of title came up, and I was like, oh, no, need to do that now. And she is very much in the now. And I'm going, wow.
yeah,
And this is where I need to be. And I've always been more, oh, I'll do it a bit later. I'll do it later. And I am starting to take action more in the now. And like you do the same. It's like, nope, action it now. Let's do it now. And so the fact that you're in my life doing that, Dr. Laura even more so, is after boom, boom. It's like, okay, maybe I can do that, because I think I believed I've not been able to do that before, and it's never been part of my life. But yes, come on, let's do it. So she was saying, oh, I'll put that as a title and we'll do that. And in the end I went, oh, come on, let's just do it. And so that's how I ended up showing up on there. And she then took me through on Zoom. She took me through Clubhouse, because I said, well, I have joined because someone invited me last year, but that's as far as it got. So she then took me into Clubhouse. She was talking me through, and I literally had a quick whistle-stop tour. And yeah, it was exciting. Can you hear it? I feel like it brought me to life again. It's like, wow, it's bringing back that motivation to keep going and just taking on these new challenges, these new opportunities. You just never know where they might take you,
yeah.
so
That's so true.
just keep showing up. Yes, yeah. And I love how you say that you implement, because it's not a way that I learn, but the way you videoed someone, or you've taken on board what someone else has said, and you implement it. You put it, you implement it, and absolutely brilliant. And the way how you've come on with what you've done with your business and what you've done with the talk show, and I really get that fire. You've got somewhere to go, and you're making sure that it happens. And that was what I got from you, our very first conversation, which is what had me join you, because I thought, this lady is someone who speaks my language. I like that. I'm not going to give up. No one's going to stop me. And
Well,
that
yeah,
is here.
you definitely don't have to give up, because in life things don't happen how we want, but you have to keep going, and you have to keep going, basically. And as long as we are surrounded by good people, it's like Simone is changed my life, but he doesn't know. And there's so many people, so many speakers that I watch, and they've changed my life, but they don't know anything. And we even in Gospel Talk Show, I do get messages from people saying, oh, I've watched this video and I didn't realize it was one of your video. Thank you so much. And some people, they don't know me. They know me, but then if they come across with a video on social media and then they watch it and like, oh, that's Noms. Then they send me message like, and there's some people, you guys, the audience, that have come and said hello here, and they've changed their lives. And there's a girl, she was applying actually because of Ngozi Talk Show going overseas. I've not heard anything from her now. So I'm hoping she managed to travel. She was actually traveling from Africa, going overseas. She applied for a job just by listening and going to implement. Yeah. So the last time
Yeah.
I spoke to her, she basically asked me to give her the reference. She used to come on and ask questions a lot. And then she disappeared. She was doing her application, and then she said, "No, Mister, this is what I've learned from you. Could you please give me a reference?" And I gave her a reference just by what she's been watching, and she said, "I need you to be honest to where I met you on social media."
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that has integrity, doesn't it?
yeah,
Yeah, she wants you to be honest and how it was you met and for
yeah,
what reasons you're giving her reference, and that is really honest. It's not she, hiding anything or making something happen out of further reasons, but
yeah,
using it in a very positive way and in an authentic way. That is lovely. So yeah, hope you hear from her soon and hope she's doing
yeah.
well.
I hope she
Just
comes back and tell
yeah,
us the news of what she's been up to.
absolutely,
Or
that would be
yeah,
lovely. Yeah, yeah, and to share. So
I
so
think
yeah,
it will
we
come to an end now.
yeah, I think so too. So perhaps if I just round up in a way, sort of, who is it? Brené Brown. She says that courage starts with showing up and letting ourselves be seen. And Bernie Sanders says it's better to show up than give up.
Yeah,
And that's what you were saying just now, Nonsa. And I think, and that is so true. It's better to show up than give up. Give yourself a bit of time if you're feeling, oh, I still can't quite manage this. It's okay. Give yourself that breather. And then come again. Keep showing up. Keep asking, well, in what ways can I show up? And just keep going. Keep going, because you just never know who you might meet. You never know what opportunity is round that next corner and in what ways your life can just go whoosh, and become really exciting in a different way, in a way that you just could never have envisaged. So what would you like to leave our guests with or our listeners with?
basically, don't let others discourage you from your dreams, and allow yourself to be present and make things happen for your life. And you don't stand up for if you don't stand up for yourself, basically in life, you're not going to achieve the things that you want to achieve. And you have to speak your truth, and don't leave everything unsaid. You need to speak up. Like Ngozi Talk Show, we help our audience find their voice, lead from within. So find your voice. If there is something that you want to do, when I say don't leave everything unsaid, it means you want to follow your dreams. Don't die without saying it. Let people hear you, how you can help them. Help people find their own voice and lead from within. And we are all gifted. Can you imagine, like, if everyone was following their dreams and how this world will be like? Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
it'll be awesome.
Wouldn't it just?
Yeah, some people are scared. Fear is always there.
Yeah. And it's how you deal with it.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. Yeah. So would you like to wrap up the show?
Live with grace, everyone, and God bless you. Carol Ann is going to wrap up.
Okay. So we're here from Monday to Friday, 1 till 2, and on Nkosi Talk Shows. And we look forward to joining us. And if there's any topic that you would like us to discuss, please let us know, because we're always open to having new topics and the topics are for you. Anyway, you know, it's not just for us. As much as we enjoy discussing them and we get a lot from them, they're for you, to help you and support you. So please let us know if there's anything that you'd like us to discuss. So bless you, and go with grace.
I think you have to end the live there on your end, Carol Ann.